Okay. Hey everyone, happy Father's Day. My name is Mihika Shabu. I'm 14 years old and I'm going to be a sophomore in high school this fall. My role in the YLF is the VP of sponsorship. I know, it sounds really cool. But let's stop talking about how cool my job is and let's start talking about what I'm doing here today. Today, I'm one of the moderators for this special event. And speaking of this event, we're all looking forward to engaging with you and our special guests, the Indian American leaders of leadership, sharing our insights based on the post-COVID new normal interviews, and sharing the journey of the KCYLF formation. Personally, I'm looking forward to hearing a bunch of new perspectives of how people are dealing with COVID and how it's affecting their own lives. But now I'll be passing it on to Kevin Matthews, who's going to kick this event off with a fun icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie.
Thank, thank you, Mihika. Hey, everyone. I'm Kevin Matthews Kunashamparambu. I'm going to my junior year of high school at Troy Athens High School this fall, and I'm the VP Administrator for the KCYLF. As a VP Administrator, I'm in charge of scheduling and running meetings, creating meeting minutes, creating agendas, and keeping track of all the main decisions of the group. We're going to start off this event with a quick icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie. For those of you who don't know how this game works, what you have is one person is going to come up with 3 statements about themselves. 2 of the statements will be true and 1 statement will be false. So do we have any volunteers from the group, from the audience?
I'll go.
All right. So just come up with 3 sentences about yourself and everyone's going to guess which one's a lie.
Okay, so the 3 things I have are I'm a senior, I'm a drummer, and I'm the quarterback in my school football team.
All right. So does anyone have a guess on which one's a lie? So what you gotta do is go to the reactions thing and do the thumbs emoji thing, and then I'll call on you. All right, so Nikhil's got a guess. So which one of those do you think is a lie?
I don't think he's a quarterback of his football team.
All right, how about you, Joshua?
I don't think he's the quarterback of his football team.
All right, do we have any more guesses? Make sure you unmute your mic before you answer. All right, so Rahul, which one was a lie?
I'm not a quarterback for my school football team.
All right, do we have any other volunteers? All right, so I see that Nikhil has his hand up. So could you give 3 sentences about yourself? And yeah.
I'm in the 11th grade. I like to play soccer, and I really enjoy going on vacations.
All right, so Josh has a guess. So which one do you think is a lie?
I don't think he's in 11th grade.
All right, anyone else? I think he's not in 11th grade. Sherry, which one do you think's a lie?
I don't think he's in 11th grade either.
All right, anyone else? All right, May, which one do you think's a lie?
I don't think he's in 11th grade.
All right, Nikhil, which one's a lie?
I'm not in 11th grade.
All right, so now I'm going to pass on to Nandana to introduce the youth leaders of the session.
I'm so happy to see everyone here today. I promise it's going to be an exciting event. My name is Nandana Nair, and I'm a director of the sponsorship team at KCYLF. I would like to introduce our first guest, Peter Jacob. Peter Jacob is a licensed social worker in the state of New Jersey. Peter received a master's in social work, specializing in mental health, social economic development, and nonprofit management at Washington University in St. Louis. He worked as a community organizer at the Elizabeth Coalition to house the homeless, addressing homeless issues in the Union County. He also served as a residential program manager at Serve Behavioral Health Incorporated. Peter is notable for having been the Democratic Party candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 7th Congressional District of New Jersey, with endorsements by former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and organizations like Our Revolution, Justice Democrats, and Brand New Congress. Peter currently serves as a program coordinator at Jewish Family Service of Central New Jersey, raising awareness in the community on the issue of elder abuse and justice. On to Nidhi to introduce our second guest.
I'm honored to introduce our next guest, Dr. Angela Suresh, FOMA National Youth Representative. A proud first-generation Malayali, Angela Garafi is the current youth representative of FOMA and the founder of the blog voice APPD, meaning American Born Proud Desi. She also currently works at Boeing as their senior communication specialist and is the lead for the Information Technology and Data Analytics Diversity and Inclusion Council. Raised in Washington, Angela graduated from the University of Washington with a bachelor's and master's degree in communications, as well as graduated with a postgraduate degree from Harvard. She's recently attained her doctorate in strategic communications from Johns Hopkins University. Angela is an established dancer and author, as well as former Miss India Washington and Miss India's USA, Miss Popular, as well as Miss Auburn. Passionate for the arts, as well as an advocate for cultural competency, Angela seeks to bring young generation Malayalis in America forward into the creative arts and expanding their knowledge of what it means to be a diverse individual of society. Over to Nandana to introduce our next guest.
Our third guest for today is Kevin Olickle. Born and raised in Skokie, Illinois, after completing his biology degree at The Ohio State University, he has worked as a field coordinator on multiple campaigns, served as district director to State Representative Deb Conroy and the executive director to the Indo-American Democratic Organization. He was a candidate for state representative in Illinois' 16th district and is currently working as a Cook County recovery specialist. He believes that it is time the South Asian community become allies in the fight against injustice during these turbulent times. Over to Mihika.
Thank you. Now, we've planned for a Q&A at the end, so please make sure to send a private chat to either me, Mihika Shabu, or Kevin Matthews. But now I'd like to invite Rahul Prabhakar, the president of the KCYLF, to formally welcome everyone.
Thank you, Mihika. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first KCYLF National Outreach event. I am Rahul Prabhakar, the president of the newly formed Kerala Club Youth Leadership Forum, also known as YLF. I'm going to be a senior this fall, and I go to U of D Jesuit in Detroit, Michigan. As president of the YLF, I provide coaching to the president-elect and the current VPs. I'm excited in this journey, and the best part about it is working with my friends here. As part of our first project, considering the stay-at-home and social distancing guidelines, we decided to conduct virtual interviews with the experts to understand how to prepare for the new normal. I worked with the team members to make sure everything was running smoothly and also provided feedback and/or guidance when required. I would like to thank everyone for attending and supporting our first public national outreach event. Next, I'd like to invite Ethan Arun, the president-elect of the YLF.
Thanks, Rahul. Hi, everyone. I'm Ethan Arun, and I'm the president-elect for the Kerala Club Youth Leadership Forum. I'm going to be a junior at DLSL High School. When it comes to president-elect, my main job is to work with everyone to help create projects that we can execute. I make sure that different areas of the Youth Leadership Forum are able to work together successfully throughout a project. To make our first project successful, we wanted to focus on two aspects. First, we wanted to inform everyone, especially the youth, on how to prepare for the new normal coming out of COVID. Second, we interviewed a variety of people. To name a few, we interviewed store workers, school administrators, counselors, and clinicians. In this project, I helped the outreach and marketing teams work together to successfully execute this project. I'll now hand it off to Shreya and her team to elaborate on their findings from the interviews.
Thanks, Ethan. Hi, everyone. I'm Shreya Pillai, and I'm serving as VP Outreach for the KCYLF. I'm 15 years old, and I will be a sophomore at Rochester High School in this fall. KCYLF's outreach program serves the Kerala Club by being involved and reaching out to the community. The outreach team also organizes programs that help engage and motivate the youth in our community. The members of the KCYLF outreach team include Christine Manglatet, Ame Krishna, and myself. For the past few weeks, the outreach team has been involved in reaching out and interviewing more than a dozen people from different fields such as education, medicine, and people from the community to gain information and their perspective on COVID-19. We have put together videos with the help of other teams, which is posted in the KCYLF Facebook page. Here, we would like to share a selected few of the many insights and findings from these interviews. I had the pleasure of talking to an infectious disease doctor, a nurse practitioner, and finally, a child psychiatrist. One of the points brought up by Dr. Jensen Jose, who is a practicing infectious disease doctor in Michigan, was when life would start becoming regular again. He mentioned that life probably wouldn't be returning to normal anytime soon and would probably only start picking up in the spring of 2021. We have only been dealing with COVID-19 for a couple months, but waiting a whole year is astounding because our lives have had drastic changes when it comes to school, health, work, and our social lives. Knowing that these changes will be lasting longer than we hoped is pretty disappointing. Getting rid of this virus is no easy task and will take patience and self-discipline from millions of people around the world. Another interesting insight comes from our child psychiatrist, Dr. Sumi Syriac, who mentioned that with this new ongoing situation of COVID-19, the isolation has taken a toll on the mental health of many kids. And since there are limitations in the studies supporting the way quarantine affects the mental health of kids, they are now looking more at how kids have historically responded to natural disasters. This really puts into perspective how major this event is because it's being compared to natural disasters such as hurricanes and tornadoes in order to fully understand how children cope with feelings of isolation. Now I'll be passing it on to Ame to present our community findings.
Thanks, Shreya. Hi, I'm Ame Krishna, and I'm going to be a junior at the International Academy this fall. I took over the perspective of the public and the community, so I looked for grocery store workers and delivery people to see their perspective because they're in close contact with people and have continued to go to work, unlike many others who have been laid off. I also interviewed a senior citizen because senior citizens are one of the groups that is most prone to getting the virus due to their weaker immune systems. So getting their input is important so we can know how to better protect them. From interviewing two workers in a grocery store named Chad and Emma, I was enlightened on how people working in grocery stores during this pandemic are feeling. They have to do more work, including checking customers' temperature, cleaning more than usual, and throwing away products that could have been contaminated by the virus. Workers now have to do all of this in addition to their regular job, making them work more hours but for the same pay. Not only do they receive the same pay, they do not receive any additional benefits, bonuses, or any other compensation. This is due to companies not being able to afford giving their employees raises during these harsh times. Everyone is more stressed than usual now, but grocery store workers have it worse because they have the additional stress of their job. So, the next time you go to a store, make sure to be especially nice to those who work there. Now, on to Christine.
Thank you, Ame. Hello, everyone. My name is Christine Maglatet, and I'm 16 years old, going into my junior year at the Utica Academy for International Studies. I'm also part of the outreach team as a director, along with Shreya and Ame. For our first project, I took over the educational realm and interviewed Susan Fitzsimmons, a high school counselor, Christina Parasak, a junior high teacher, and Nikki Nambiar, a college student. One key takeaway from these interviews was that college admissions will most probably be more reliant on the character of a student and who they are, rather than only the numerical values that play a role in their education. In other words, the counselor that was interviewed believes that grades and GPA most probably will not be the most crucial components of assessing a student. Rather, colleges may want to see more of how students handle their schooling during this time of pandemic, and what they have done to help during the crisis. Because of this, we feel it is important for students to be aware that administrators believe that colleges could possibly change their methods through which they assess their future incoming students. I would now like to pass it back to Shreya.
Thank you, Christine and Ame, for sharing these interesting findings and for all of your support in making this an interesting project for all of us. These takeaways are important to life post-COVID-19, and we are so glad to have gained this information, which will help us educate our community. With this, I will conclude and pass it on to our next MC, Nidhi Ikurthi.
That was a really good overview, Shreya. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and I am Nidhi Akurthi, and I will be a freshman in Troy High School this coming fall. I'm the Director of Finance in KCYLF, and I would like to inform everyone that we have time for questions at the end. If you have any, please text all your questions to Kevin in a private chat message. Now, I would like to thank Angela for joining the session, and we would like to know all your feedback on what you just saw. And over to you, Angela. I would pass it to Nandana instead, because it seems like Angela is not here.
Well, I would like to hear from Peter and Kevin your thoughts and comments on what was shared by Shreya and team.
Thank you so much for inviting me, having me here. First and foremost, a huge shout out to everybody here at KCYLF to making this happen. I know it's a busy day with Father's Day, but taking your time to speak about these important findings, it's a grand undertaking on your behalf. I mean, collectively, you guys deserve a doctorate degree for this kind of effort, and whatever that means from my end. Let me first say what you have spoken to is vitally important in America. Much of the mainstream media and news networks, these people in high places with fancy degrees, making millions of dollars a year, have not spoken to these issues in the way you guys have all to already, especially Ami Krishna, you know, the point you made about grocery store workers, you know, when we acknowledge the frontline workers, we often ignore these folks, and we're doing a grand disservice to them. So the fact that you guys are able to bring this message, a very progressive message, is vitally important. I do encourage everybody to consider the words of the late, great Martin Luther King when he says, of all the forms of injustices, the greatest is in healthcare. The most inhumane is that within healthcare. And we are failing as a nation to address this. And I think I'd like to encourage everybody to look at a particular issue that is important in the realm of politics, and that is single payer, Medicare for all healthcare, a system that is almost universal everywhere in the world except for in the United States. And having that would assuage people's worries about hospital bills. We have heard about those folks who have $1.1 million, $500,000 in debt as a result of COVID-19. You know, and that's not a case. In Kerala, nobody's going bankrupt. In fact, foreigners who are in Kerala 2-3 months ago have gotten free treatment, said this is the best treatment. It's better than the treatment I would have gotten in a place like Italy. So I encourage everybody to look also into the solutions, but this is wonderful. We start by addressing what the problems are, so we know this will happen again in the future, and we will be able to prevent it and do our best. So thank you for having me. This is awesome.
I'll say, one, you guys have put together something so incredible. You guys are half my age, and you guys are far more eloquent than I ever was. And you guys really understand, are taking the time to really understand everything that's going on. I would have been just playing video games or doing something to not even think about these things. So I'm really proud and excited to be a part of this. So everything you guys mentioned, you know, it's really everything that's happened over the last couple of months have really highlighted all the flaws in our system, our healthcare system, our economic system. We're seeing how overwhelmingly the people that are being affected are the frontline workers who can't afford to take a day off from work. They have to continue working as essential employees. We're seeing how quickly overwhelmed our healthcare system is. And so, you know, just because things are going to open up in the next couple of months, it doesn't mean that we are going to be okay. There are going to be tons of businesses that are going out of business, that are struggling. Currently, I work for a nonprofit, and my job is to try to help a lot of these small businesses and nonprofits get access to PPP loans, because they have been so hurt by the lack of business that their businesses have been getting over these last few months, and so we have to really think about the long-term solutions. And one thing I would highlight is I know that many of us have family members who are healthcare workers, who are on the front line, nurses, doctors, respiratory therapists, and we need to make sure that our voices are heard when it comes to the changes that are going to take place when it comes to healthcare policy. Like Peter had mentioned, there's a big movement around Medicare for all and a single payer system, something that I support as well. And we need to make sure that our community, our healthcare workers are also a part of that conversation and are driving that policy change as well. So, and it's really great that you guys are doing this and really highlighting our need to understand what's really going on. So thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing. Now we are moving into the next segment of the event, which is all about leadership.
Can I jump in really quick? 1 second. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Peter and Kevin for giving us your thoughts. We really appreciate your involvement in this organized event that we're doing. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Now we are moving into the next segment of the event, which is all about leadership. We had a great journey over the last 12 months, which I believe would be very helpful for the youth and clubs who are all in this virtual meeting with us today. We have compiled this segment into 4 sections. We will focus on first, the initial formation, team building, and brainstorming. Then, the entrepreneurship exposure and drafting governance model. Then, completing the elections and beginning operating. And lastly, the vision for the future of KCYLF. Each of our team members will share this with you. And let me invite Neha to begin with her story.
Thank you, Nandana. Hello, everyone. My name is Neha Rubin. I'm 16 years old, and I'm going to be a junior at Rochester Adams High School this fall. I am the VP of Marketing for the Kerala Club Youth Leadership Forum. Now we're going to talk about the leadership journey of the YLF, but more specifically, its formation. Before the YLF was created, we had gone through a program called Toastmasters. Over the course of 10 weeks, our entire team was able to expand our skills in public speaking, running meetings, and team building. Toastmasters gave us the tips and tricks to advance our public speaking skills, which would help us in our work lives. We were also able to discover team building, and Toastmasters taught us how to work and operate as a team. This program was also able to provide us with a sense of how meetings are supposed to be run, but by presenting a governing structure that would assign roles to keep meetings in an orderly fashion. I'm going to pass it over to Aditya Arun to give an in-depth explanation on team building.
Thank you, Neha. Hello, everyone. My name is Aditya Arun. I am 16 years old, and I will be a senior at Walled Lake Central this fall. I am also the VP of Finance for KCYLF. As Neha mentioned, Toastmasters was critical in the development of our skills. For example, by following a fixed agenda, we were able to efficiently plan and carry out various actions in conjunction with our group members. We also assigned individuals with positions of leadership, think president, vice president, etc., and this allowed us to experience how to successfully maintain a productive environment. Aside from Toastmasters, we had dynamic panel discussions, as well as brainstorming sessions with Kerala Club's Board of Trustees members, as well as the executive members. And this overall helped us gain insight into how crucial decisions are made. Without these efficacious experiences, we would not be able to make as much progress as we have. I will now pass it over to Sienna to discuss public speaking.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sienna Ninen, and I am one of the directors in the marketing team. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how the KCYLF has helped me be a better public speaker. In the beginning of this journey, we started off with the Toastmasters program, where we learned new tips and tricks to help us with speaking. There, we learned how to incorporate different topics to create speeches. We also enhanced our vocabulary with power words and used gestures, as well as changed the tone of our voice to engage the audience. Through table topics, we executed and developed different short speeches to the topics we chose. This has helped us to enhance our confidence as well as helped us to be better leaders. I am glad to be part of the KCYLF team. Now I'm going to give it to Josh to talk about the running meetings.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Josh Kalantara, and I'll be a sophomore in the fall at Northville High School. I'm also a director on our administration team at the KCYLF and help to manage our biweekly sessions. During our formation journey, we had our weekly Toastmaster sessions where we all took roles of certain positions to get an idea on how meetings could be run. For instance, I took on the role of secretary where I would time speeches and take notes. With these roles, it helped us to get a gist on how meetings were run and manage our KCYLF meetings. I personally found that using these roles helped me step out of my comfort zone, and it got me to really want to participate in our meetings. Now, in our own meetings, we found our own flow and found a way to make use of our time and get our ideas set into stone. With that, I'd like to give it back to Shreya.
Thanks, Josh. Team building, public speaking, and running meetings have been incredibly important and helpful in the formation of the KCYLF and have supported us throughout all of our journeys through Toastmasters and KCYLF. We are so lucky to have the ability to conduct meetings in which we create great environments and programs for the youth. Now, back to Kevin.
On January 26th of this year, the whole group met at a place called Pony Ride. Pony Ride is a place in Detroit where entrepreneurs can come to start and grow their own businesses. So since we were creating a new team, the KCYLF, it was only right that we had our event there. One of the things that we did is that we concluded our Toastmasters journey with our final speeches. The entire team who was part of the Toastmasters program gave a speech that combined all of the speaking skills that we had learned. Then it was time to create the team. We all sat down in a circle and decided what the future of the KCYLF would look like. We created the governance model of VPs and directors and decided how big the team should be for the most efficiency. Along with that, we also decided how frequently we would have meetings and other things that are important for the creation of a new forum.
Respected leaders, YLF youth, parents, and all attendees. I'm Joshua Joseph. I'm going to be a sophomore at Farmington High School, and I'm one of the directors for the administration team. I helped to take minutes and create agendas for meetings. On January 26th, there was an event with everyone from KCYLF. There were a couple entrepreneurs that came in and talked about their journeys for their businesses. One of them had a clothing brand, and she talked about how it was fun at first, but then it turned serious. The other entrepreneur had a makeup brand, using all natural ingredients in her products, and she showed us a before and after picture of her using her own products. Now I'll pass it on to Nikhil Nambiar.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nikhil Nambiar. I'm 15 years old, going into my sophomore year of high school, and I'm part of the sponsorship team for the KCYLF. Today, I'll be talking to you about what happened at the Pony Ride meeting. We learned many different things. One thing we learned is how to give a speech in front of a large audience. At the start, we were all nervous, but by the end of the meeting, we were all fine, but not nervous at all. We also had a few small businesses give us speeches. We got to learn how to talk in front of large audiences and how to use ways of communication. At the end of the speech, many of our parents even ended up buying things from them. At the Pony Ride business, many workers had set up their workspace, and we got to talk to a few of them. Now I'd like to pass it on to Nandana.
I realized that the lessons we learned could be utilized for beginning a business or towards other important activities. You need to be able to socialize and make connections, work with them, and be flexible. I learned that networking and capital were important to sustain an entrepreneurship mindset. There was one speech that caught my eye, talking about vitamins and painkillers. If given two choices on making a product, would you make a vitamin or a painkiller? You would think vitamin, right? However, painkillers are what sell most because people do whatever they can to get rid of pain immediately. This taught me that there has to be a compelling reason for people to see value in your product. They also explained to us the process of building a business, and I learned so much from them. I had so much fun, and it was truly an enlightening experience.
Okay, enough of this serious talk. It's time to get into the fun side of things. We're going to play a round of Mad Libs. The concept of Mad Libs is we pick different words for the descriptions that Kevin asks us. For example, he will ask for a noun, then someone can go to the reaction button below and put a thumbs up. Whoever puts the thumbs up first will be chosen by Kevin. Once you say your answer, like dog for an example of a noun, Kevin will write it down and add it to a fun story that we will get to see at the end. So let's see what fun story we can come up with. Now I'm going to hand it off to Kevin to start it off.
All right, so the Mad Lib we're going to be doing today is a day at the zoo. So the first word we need is an adjective. Make sure you unmute your mics when you answer as well. All right, Joshua has an idea for adjective. What word would you like to put in?
I'd like to put in brave.
All right, okay, so now we need a noun. All right, May, what noun do you want to put in?
Chocolate.
All right, so now we need a verb in the past tense. All right, Rahul, what do you want to put in?
Ran.
All right, now we need a adverb. All right, Shreya, what adverb do you want to add in?
Quickly.
What was it?
Quickly.
All right, now we need a adjective.
Beautiful.
All right, now we need a noun. All right, Mahika, what noun do you want to add?
Water bottle.
What was it?
Water bottle.
All right, now can we get a noun? All right, Neha, what noun do you want to add?
Dog.
All right, and now we need a adjective. All right, Josh, what word do you want to add? What adjective do you want to add?
Sweet.
What was it?
Sweet.
All right, now we need a verb. All right, Sienna, what verb do you want to put in?
Running.
All right, now we need a adverb. All right, I'll put in quick. Now we need a verb in the past tense.
Come on, guys, don't be shy. It's just a fun little game. Anyone can join.
All right, Chrissy, what verb do you want to put in?
Well,
All right, now we need one more adjective. All right, Ethan, what adjective do you want to add?
Call.
All right, so we're done with the story. So the story that we made was, today I went to the zoo. I saw a brave chocolate jumping up and down in its tree. He ran quickly through the large tunnel that led to its beautiful water bottle. I got some peanuts and passed them through the cage of the gigantic gray dog, towering above my head. Feeding that animal made me hungry. I went to get a sweet scoop of ice cream. It filled my stomach. Afterward, I had to running quick to catch our bus. When I got home, I swam my mom for a tall day at the zoo. All right, so that's going to bring this engaging event to a close. Next, I'm going to pass on to Mahika to talk about the leadership journey.
Thank you, Kevin, for that really funny story. But now I'd like to take a little bit of your time to talk about how the elections and the operating model works. So currently, the KCYLF governance team has 8 YLF board officer positions. The positions include past president, president, president-elect, and the VPs of the 5 different groups. outreach, marketing, finance, administration, and sponsorship. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I heard the VP of sponsorship is super cool, but I didn't say anything. Of the 8 possible board office positions, 7 are currently filled with the exception of past president, as this is a new organization. In each of the 5 groups mentioned before, the VP stands as the leader of that certain group, and all the members are called directors. Anyone in the forum was able to run for the election of board officers, excluding the role of past president. Now on to Ame, who will further elaborate on this.
All candidates made a speech about why they were the best choice for the position they were applying for. Soon after, a link was sent out to all the members and the office bearers were voted on through that link. After the elections were finished, the remaining members that were not holding office chose one of the 5 groups and became directors. The president and president-elect come up with the ideas, which are then delegated to the VPs according to their topic. The VPs work with the directors to get the job done. Now on to Nidhi.
Hi, I'm going to introduce my role in YLF. I've been a part of YLF since March, and this team has been really welcoming since the beginning. And I've noticed that the team is very hardworking and inspiring, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to join. The entire team met on a regular basis, and in every meeting, we tried to focus on activities that improved leadership skills, social teamwork, time management, and goal setting. Now to Vishnu.
Hello, my name is Vishnu Nair, and I'm going to be a freshman at Troy High when school opens. I've been in the Kerala Club community for a long time, and I've had plenty of fun at the numerous events I've gone to. I only joined the Youth Leadership Forum pretty recently, and I've been given a role in the marketing team. And so far, I've contributed to the flyer for this event. In terms of the future for KCYLF, I'm excited to see more large-scale events, collaborations with other organizations, and other types of programs. I'm also prepared to assist with various aspects of the YLF, especially marketing. Speaking of marketing, make sure you follow and like KCYLF's Facebook and Instagram pages. Anyways, I've enjoyed working on the flyer for this event, so hopefully I can focus on contributing to creating flyers in the future, as well as working on the Kerala Club website when needed. I haven't really communicated much with most of the YLF members before I joined the forum, so it's going to be an interesting experience working with people who I've seen so many times in Kerala Club programs. In the end, I'm looking forward to future YLF projects, contributing to the marketing team, and working alongside fellow Kerala Club members. Now I'd like to invite Christine so she can share her ideas and perspective of the future for YLF.
Thank you, Vishnu. I too just recently joined the Youth Leadership Forum along with Vishnu, and I am part of the outreach team. For the first KCYLF project, my team and I conducted interviews to receive the perspective of others on the current pandemic. This project was a great success thanks to the YLF, and I look forward to future projects we can carry out as a club. As a member of the outreach team, I hope to take part in executing many more events and activities with the youth. I hope to see more events such as this where we can gather the youth and engage with one another, as well as hopefully collaborate with other organizations. I also hope to see our club give back to the community through means of charity. And as a leadership forum, I hope to see myself take up the role of a VP in the future of YLF. I have been a member of the Kerala Club for a very long time, and I'm extremely happy to be part of the Kerala Club Youth Leadership Forum. I'm excited to see what all the YLF holds for the future, and now I'd like to hand it off to Rahul to speak of his experience and future visions of the YLF.
Thank you, Christine. In our first year, we were unable to execute some events due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But in the future, we are hoping to do more events in person, such as helping the youth become leaders and taking part in various charities. After being president of the 2020-2021 YLF, I'll become past president and assist the next president of the YLF and the VPs. Mentorship is very crucial in leadership, and I'm hoping I can take whatever I learned this year and pass it to the next YLF president. We are hoping that this forum will grow bigger and it will take on more challenges for the youth to overcome. I've been part of the YLF since the beginning, and I'm very happy with how big it has grown. Most of us have learned many skills and techniques, such as increasing self-confidence and overcoming the nervousness to speak in front of an audience. From the Toastmasters program, we are thrilled to share the information with future YLF members. My goal is to become an entrepreneur, and I had the privilege to meet and interact with entrepreneurs as part of our event and the Pony Ride Business Incubator earlier this year. On behalf of our team, I'd like to take this opportunity as president of the YLF to thank a few people who had helped start us this journey. Our uncle, as a founding mentor who reached out to a few of us, explained the idea and creating this platform for us to thrive. The Anyanti and the 2019 Kerala Club Executive Committee team for understanding the importance of a youth-led organization and supporting us. Baijonko and the 2019 BOT team for the support. On closing, I would like to say a quote by Robin Benincasa. You don't inspire your teammates by showing how amazing you are. You inspire them by showing how amazing they are. I'd like to turn it over to Ethan to conclude this segment.
Thanks, Rahul. First, I would also like to take a moment to thank this year's club's leadership. I would like to thank Ajay Uncle, the current Kerala Club president, for being helpful and supportive throughout our journey, and he has been there since the Pony Ride incubator. Sunil Uncle, the chairman of the BOT, has been supporting us from the beginning and was always there to help us. I would also like to thank our two other mentors, Prabhakar Uncle and Karthi Auntie. Prabhakar Uncle has been with us since the beginning and introduced us to entrepreneurship by taking us to Pony Ride. Karthi Auntie has also been with us since our Toastmasters journey and has continued to guide us and help us throughout our journey, including this event. Now, speaking of the future of the YLF, I believe we will be able to do way more things. Even though quarantine restricted us most of this year, we still managed to come up with projects that we could do. I believe with that dedication, we will be able to broaden our outreach and take on more projects under our belt in the future. By taking on these projects, I look forward to helping our team become great leaders and prepare ourselves for the future. I hope that what we do will inspire some of you to join our forum. If you are interested, feel free to contact one of us and we'll see what we can do. If you are, and I hope we can build your interest and inspire you to even try creating your own organizations. Who knows, maybe by creating a few youth organizations across the nation, we could build a huge youth network. I'd like to thank all of you for listening to all our perspectives. I'll hand it off to Kevin and Mahika for questions.
Hey everyone, so in this next portion, me and Mahika will be answering any questions you guys may have. So if there are any questions, please probably send them to me and Mahika on the Zoom channel. So one of the first questions I got was, what are the future activities of the YLF and how do I join the YLF? So I'm going to be forwarding this question to the president of the KCYLF, Rahul Prabhakar.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we haven't been able to plan or do any events in person, but once the restrictions are lifted, we are hoping to attend more charities and help people out and also help young people become leaders. To join the YLF, your parents have to be part of the Kerala Club community and you have to be at least in 7th grade to join.
A question I got was the process of getting the interviewees and what the process of the interviewing process was like. So I'm going to forward this question to Shreya Pillai.
That's a great question. So we contacted several people for our 3 different videos. Each video had a different topic. So we had a medical video, a video on the public and community, as well as an educational video. So each of us in the outreach team split up and we kind of handled our own video, and we reached out to people such as infectious disease doctors, school counselors, school administrators, grocery store workers, and we requested an interview from them. We prepared questions and we had wonderful insights on their perspective on the COVID-19 situation.
Another question that we got was, what are the projects that are underway to support SAT and ACT education? So we had many projects planned, but however, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that pushed everything ahead. So we're still planning events that we could still do, and potentially even now during this quarantine time. So there's going to be many things coming up in the future.
Okay, those are some really great questions, guys. Thank you. Now, a special thanks to our special guests, Kevin, Peter, for sharing all your inputs, comments, and views. Is there anything else you guys would like to add or share with us?
I'll just quickly say again, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. I'm again so impressed by all of you. You guys have worked really hard to put together this program, and you guys have just done a really great job. And I hope you continue to pursue this mission of service and encourage your friends to join you. If I was your age and I had the opportunity to be a part of something like this, I might have had a different career trajectory because I didn't initially go into public service. But if I had the opportunity to be a part of something like this, maybe I would have chosen a different path. So everything that you're doing, please encourage your friends to join you and continue to pursue this passion that you guys have.
I also like to echo Kevin's words. This is amazing that you guys put this together, all the work that you guys have done in this kind of group. Cherish each other, continue to do the work. And if I have one piece of advice is always trust your instinct. There's a previous generation who thinks in a certain way. Always be progressive in your values and your thinking. Always move forward in life and trust your own judgment and your values. So thank you so much again for having me.
This is Vinod. I just want to make one comment. Great job, kids. You have done a wonderful job and wonderful, well-organized presentation. One thing I liked very much is an entrepreneurship. That is something that you can improve from here, and you can be at a very young age. You can execute many of those organizations and create some new products. So thank you. Wonderful job.
Thank you. I actually saw Angela join, so if there's anything you would like to add, please add.
Hi, apologies for joining late. I wasn't feeling that well, but from what I did see, you guys did a fantastic job. In organizing this event. Of course, as first and second generations, to see a group like this come together and work on entrepreneurship in terms of the future of what the new normal is going to be coming to, I think it's an absolute great opportunity for you. I echo what Kevin briefly mentioned. Had we had a group like this when we were growing up, it would have been, our lives probably would have been a bit different for sure. So, and though I would say a rough beginning in our journeys, you guys have the opportunities when it comes to technology, when it comes to connecting and networking. So utilize that and reach out to fellow first and second generation national Malayali network peers that you have. Reach out to them. They do have guidance, and you guys, you're already taking the first step, and that's by creating a group like this. So kudos to you.
Thank you. We had one more question. So the question was, how has this helped you in your daily school life interacting with your friends? So would any of the VPs like to answer that question?
Well, I've definitely learned how to speak up, especially in class discussions. And for school, I think I've gotten much more confident than where I was a month ago. So, yeah.
All right, so that's going to bring our Q&A section to a close. So since this is a new event and this is the first time we've ever done something like this, we would love to hear your feedback. So please go to the link in the chat or the QR code on the screen to leave any useful feedback in case we want to do this again. All right, thank you. So based on everyone's feedback, it seems like this was a informative event to everyone. So love to hear that. So I'm gonna pass it to Nandana Nidhi for the closing and thanks.
Thank you everyone for attending the session. I hope that the Zoom was really engaging and informative. And thank you especially Angela and Peter and Kevin for spending your valuable time and sharing your feedback. We hope you all had some really good takeaways and appreciate you joining. Now to Nandana.
Thank you to everyone who took part in this event from across the nation and those who helped to get the word out and promote the event. Especially thanks to Jose Abraham Uncle from New York. Let me also take a moment to thank the contributors to the interviews from which we were able to share the post-COVID new normal. Mr. Chad, Miss Emma, Dr. Jensen Jose, who is an infectious diseases expert, Mrs. Jomi Kanacham Parambil, who is a nurse practitioner, Mrs. Krisana Parakak, who is a junior high teacher, Mr. Nadine, Ms. Nikki Nambiar, who is a second-year student at Michigan State, Mr. Noni Singh, Dr. Sumi Syriac, who is a child psychiatrist, Mrs. Susan Fitzsimmons, who is a high school counselor at Utica Academy for International Studies, and last but not least, Mr. Tom Henstock. Today is a special day. Our entire KCYLF team would like to wish you a Happy Father's
Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Thank you.